Good morning, you're watching Rise. Welcome to the programme. The world's most famous magician has performed his most audacious stunt to date. Yes, while you were sleeping, David Blaine defied death to jump from his 80-foot pole in the middle of New York City. But how did he do it? We'll be investigating his kind of magic here on Rise, and we'll be going live to Manhattan. Joining me today on the show that brings you everything you need to know in the worlds of news.
Mark, thank you. Hello, good morning. It's Thursday, the 23rd of May. Here are the top 6 stories you need to know this morning. Even magic hurts. David Blaine has crashed back down to earth by leaping off the 80-foot pillar he'd been standing on top of for nearly 35 hours. Thousands of fans gathered in New York to see Blaine jump from the pole onto a pile of cardboard boxes. He went without food and had minimal amounts of water during the stunt, and the illusionist only had 2 handles to hold on to if it got windy. Cloudy eyes. Staff at the troubled New Air Traffic Control Centre in Swanwick can't read their...
We've been obsessed by an American and his 80-foot pole all week, but it's all over, isn't it, Liz?
Sounds very dubious. Yes, indeed. You may well remember David Blaine was planning to spend 35 whole hours, that's almost 2 days and 2 nights, on top of an 80-foot pole in the middle of Manhattan without any food, drink or sleep. Well, just a few hours ago, the stunt came to an end. Here's the culmination of David Blaine's Vertigo. This is the moment when David Blaine finally dived off the 80-foot pole that he's been standing on for just under 35 hours. After all the build-up, it was over in seconds. Stagehands scrambled through cardboard boxes to get to Blaine, who made the jump without a safety net. He emerged looking shaken, but together, and told waiting crowds, God bless peace.
Every last one of you, and this is just the beginning. God bless all of us. Peace, everyone. Thank you.
Thousands turned up to watch him make the leap after hours of waiting in near-freezing conditions. Since he was winched onto the platform on Wednesday, the incredible feat of human endurance has seen him forgo food and drink. He's also been forced to use a catheter while he stood on a platform the size of a pizza, 10 stories above the ground, with no safety net, before finally taking the plunge. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, guys?
Gosh,
Bit suspect about those cardboard boxes. There's probably a nice sort of big cushiony thing in the middle.
Oh, completely concealed. I was imagining one layer of cardboard boxes, not an entire building of them.
So you actually wanted him to die?
Cheat! Well, it just wasn't as exciting as I expected it to be. But joining me live from New York is Ben, a magician's friend of David. Ben, welcome to Rise.
How you doing, Liz?
Not too bad, thanks very much. Are you impressed by David's stunt?
By this last one?
Yeah.
I would say that it was okay. It was, you know, it was a promotional stunt.
What do you think?
Is the answer.
What bits of it do you think let him down? Do you think it wasn't as impressive as he set out to make it?
Well, yeah, I would have been impressed if he was up there for like 2 weeks, you know.
So go on, are you going to go for the 2 weeks then on the pole?
Maybe, I'm thinking about it.
Now, a lot of people are saying
36 hours. It's not that long.
Yeah, fair enough. A lot of people are saying it's not really magic. What do you reckon?
Well, I think it's a very good promotional stunt, but I was stuck on a bus in Indonesia for 30 hours, not knowing where I was going, and without food or water. So I don't know. It doesn't measure up to what I thought it might have been.
Now, if you're calling it maybe a bit of a promotional stunt on David's part, what do you think he's promoting? Why would he do something like that, just to become more famous? Is he big into the fame?
No, he's promoting his television special, because that's how he ended his special. The last 10 minutes, or actually throughout his entire TV special, was footage of him standing on the pole. So that was a big hook for viewers to watch his special.
Okay, and you're quite friendly with him, are you?
Yeah, no, I've known him for over 12 years. You know, we've worked on things together, and I've known him a long time.
So do you know? I mean, he knows your take on it. You're not really impressed with what he's getting up to, yeah?
I'm just telling you my take. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was okay. I mean, I think the normal individual is probably more impressed. I mean, I'm sort of in the.
You're in the know.
I'm in the field. I'm in the know, so it's like you're asking me if the same trick that we might do, you know, if I'm impressed by it, you know. So
well,
it's.
Well, Ben,
so
if you're in... Sorry, go on.
Yep. No, I mean, it wasn't that much of an endurance test, I would say.
Yeah, so if you're in the know, exactly how did you do it? Was there such a big deal about it, or was it just as simple as... And were the boxes concealing a big mattress? We want to know.
You know, it actually, yes. I mean, you know, there was some things in there. I mean, it was a good fall, but he had little crutches to hold onto when he was standing on the pole.
Sure. Okay, well, we want to be impressed by you now, Ben. Have you got a magic trick for us? We can't let you go without a trick.
Let's try one right now. I want you to name a card. Just think of a card and name it. Just any card.
To say it to you, yeah?
Yeah, just say it.
Okay, yeah. Queen of Hearts.
The Queen of Hearts. Okay, I want you to watch very closely. I'm going to take this deck of cards. You ready?
Yeah.
Look, one card is folded up. You said the Queen of Diamonds?
No, Queen of Hearts.
Oh, take a look.
Okay, how did he do that?
Oh my God. Oh, quite impressive. I thought it'd been a bit more impressive if he'd managed to get it to land on the desk here in London.
All right, that's an endurance feat.
I wanted it to appear in my shoe, Ben.
You know what I did? I had 52 cards down in my stomach.
Uh-huh.
And I was holding them for 36 hours.
Ben, have you heard of the concept, Ben? Can I quickly butt in? Have you heard of the concept that friends stick together and support each other? Do you think David Blaine is really a friend of yours? You've just dished his whole 36-hour stunt.
No, come on. I didn't really diss his stunt. It was. You asked me what I thought. I think it's good. It was okay. It was all right.
Ben, thanks a million for chatting to us.
I have to be honest.
We love your trick. It's much better than the pole thing. Thanks a million.
Okay.
I'm going to work on that one. Liz, pick a script. Any script in the running order.
Okay, go on.
Just say the faux pas. I'll do it while you're doing. Colin's got a panel to discuss it. While we're doing that, I'm going to practice my trick of swallowing a piece of paper.
I've disappeared 3 times. How long took you to throw to me?
What were you laughing at me?
I'll tell you in a second. Right, you've heard the view from New York, but what do the experts think? John's a magician, and he said, pick a card, any card. He goes, Queen of Hearts. Liz goes, Queen of Hearts. He goes, thank you.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
That's so obvious because I'm a girl and, you know.
So the trick wouldn't have worked if
What made you know his trick before he even did it? He literally turned around. As soon as he said pick a card, John, a magician, just went, Queen of Hearts, thank you.
So you knew he had the Queen of Hearts in his mouth already?
No, I'm just good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Colin,
carry on.
Tell us about the panel.
Well, John's a magician, Tim's an illusionist, a magician as well, and Jason's a stuntman. I want to come to you first, Jason. Okay. Surely what David Blaine did, Vertigo up a pole, was it not more of a stunt, endurance?
Yeah, I'd definitely say it was more of a stunt than an actual magic trick or an illusion or anything. But for him to actually stand up there for that period of time and then still have the concentration at the end of 36 hours to do a high fall of that height, you know, I'll take my hat off to him. So.
And from your point of view as a magician, well, there's no real trickery involved in this, is there?
I mean, as far as I can see, there's no real trickery, but for that sort of thing, there doesn't have to be. I mean, there could have been a lot of stuff he could have done once he was in, landed in the boxes. But to actually stand up there, as was said, it's more of a mental thing than anything, a magic trick as such.
Okay. And from an illusionist point of view, that thing maybe doesn't faze you, but where do you think it sits along with the other stunts that he's carried out?
I think it's fantastic. I think publicity-wise, it's a very, very good trick. It's set himself up for all the other tricks. It's a carry-on. It's great for publicity. I think it's fantastic. I mean, technically, magically, it's not technically a magic trick, but like Houdini, he was went for publicity, and that's what he's done.
Well, is that what David Blaine brings to the show? Is it the way he does it? Is it a public image? Is it as much PR as anything else?
Oh, absolutely, and that's what it's all about. I mean, what David Blaine is actually doing is very good for magic. I mean, the magic circle is more popular than ever, with young people getting into magic, and magicians are all benefiting from the publicity that David Blaine's giving it.
Can I ask you a question? David Copperfield and other magicians like that were saying of him, he's like any guy who has a tenner in his pocket and can go into a magician's shop. you know, his tricks are really not that impressive. He just sort of glamorizes it with all these big events and these big press calls. What do you think about that? I mean, you guys understand magic a lot more than we do, but even the public are sort of going, oh, you know, it's very glamorized. What do you reckon about that?
I mean, from my point of view, is the magic isn't the important thing. If you go, we like David Blaine, then that's the important thing. I mean, you know, talent and publicity aren't the same thing.
Sure.
Can I ask a very brief question?
No,
what I wanted to know is, was he risking his life?
Well, I think anybody that jumps off something that high is risking their life. I mean, I think obviously you can prepare for it as much as you can, but there's always a risk.
Yeah, but when I was 14, I used to drink 6 cans of beer and jump off heights like that all the time, and there wasn't even any boxes down the bottom.
Well, then you're risking your life.
Exactly. Very quickly, Mark's had 10 because we know John's going to do a magic trick for us.
10 out of 10 for the high fall.
Okay. So that's the stuntman's point of view, the illusionist's point of view?
I think 10 out of 10. I like David Blaine.
9 out of 10 because the leg was a bit off angle.
Excellent. We
It was
should have got
pretty
you cards for that.
Pretty
yeah,
good.
it wasn't the best fall ever. We've seen better falls, and it wasn't 1 cardboard box as it was made out.
If it was
like
1 cardboard
18
box,
feet, wasn't it?
Aiming to 1 cardboard box, I think that would have been impressive.
There was
I
an
think that guy was a
airbag
bit
being
unfair,
concealed,
though.
I'm convinced.
In America.
Well, thanks very much for coming in. We'll
Pleasure.
save the magic trick to later.
Absolutely.
Because we just got to throw back this, but thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
We're going to show top 3 tricks.
Pleasure.
Fabulous.
Thanks for that.
I need to ask you later what the difference is between a magician and an illusionist, but we'll talk about that later.
Liz, David Blaine, 80-foot poles, New York City. Bring it all together and make sense of it.
Well, he's back on solid ground after 35 hours. That's almost 2 days and 2 nights on top of a pole in the middle of Manhattan without any food, drink or sleep. He brought the stunt to a dramatic end. Here's what happened. This is the moment when David Blaine finally dived off the 80-foot pole that he's been standing on for just under 35 hours. After all the build-up, it was over in seconds. Stagehands scrambled through cardboard boxes to get to Blaine, who made the jump without a safety net. He emerged looking shaken but together and told waiting crowds, God bless peace.
Thank every last one of you, and this is just the beginning. God bless all of us. Peace, everyone. Thank you.
Thousands turned up to watch him make the leap after hours of waiting in near-freezing conditions. Since he was winched onto the platform on Wednesday, the incredible feat of human endurance has seen him forgo food and drink. He's also been forced to use a catheter while he stood on a platform the size of a pizza, 10 stories above the ground, with no safety net before finally taking the plunge. Well, we've heard the view from New York, but what do the experts here think? We've convened a special Rise panel to give us their verdict. With me now are magician John Allen, illusionist Tim Sate, and stuntman Jason Hundred. You're very welcome onto Rise.
Thank you.
Jason, can I come to you first and ask you, that was more of a stunt than
Yeah, definitely.
a magic trick?
I mean, it wasn't an illusion, it wasn't a magic trick, it was definitely a stunt. So,
How do you rate it with regards to what you get up to?
I mean, you've got to take your hat off to the guy. He stood on top of that tower for 36 hours. It's going to be physically and mentally hard to keep yourself composed for that length of time. And then to do the high fall after that, you know, great.
Yeah, excellent. And John, you're an illusionist. How do you rate David with regards to the tricks that he does? Is it more magic? Is it more illusions?
I mean, what he does is sort of an illusion, as in it's not what you think it is. I mean, that, as Jason said, was a stunt.
But the other stuff that he does.
The other stuff he does.
Elevation and all the...
Yeah, I mean, what he's done is he's encompassed the medium of television. I mean, Harry Houdini was doing it back in the 1900s, where newspapers were big, and he could get on the front page of newspapers. David Blaine's figured out the best way to get on TV and the internet, and you know, good luck to him.
So as a magician, would you hope to get to that certain level of fame? And
I'd like to be able, I wouldn't like to jump off something like that. I'd like to be able to do it just doing magic or shows or something. But
Sure.
I think publicity-wise, a very, very good idea, very clever.
what's the difference between an illusionist and a magician?
I think an illusionist can charge about 30% more.
That's what it boils down to.
That's what it boils down to. But no, I mean, illusions are generally the larger scale things, like making an aeroplane disappear.
So you can charge more for that.
You can charge more for that than I mean, a plane costs more than a pack of cards.
Fair enough. Marks out of 10 for David Blaine's effort.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. It was pretty amazing, wasn't it? What do you reckon?
Absolutely.
10 10 out of 10. As a stuntman,
Definitely
Jason?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Someone that's not trained in that completely. I mean, he's obviously had training to do that particular high fall, but 10 out of 10.
Well impressed, you guys. Full marks from the Rise panel, not bad. Before we leave you go, we want to see a trick. Go on, impress us.
You want to go first, John?
I like the go on then impress us.
No,
Go on
with
then
open
impress us.
arms. Go on.
Okay, you might want to have a look in your back pocket, by the way, just before I start.
Good grief.
There we go. Little present for you there.
How did that?
Sorry about that.
That was Colin.
All the way from New York. All right.
Okay.
Just very quickly, a lot of people when when they get the money, a lot of things can actually go wrong. It gets torn, it gets all messed up. But the good thing about being a magician is that you can actually put it all the way back together again.
Are we seeing that close up? Oh, great
stuff.
For the folks at home, what David Blaine did is he actually did something with his heart, didn't he?
He did
his heart
indeed.
out. I'd like to do some body magic for you, so I'd like you to feel my ear. Just feel it.
Anytime.
No, watch it. Just feel it. Is it normal?
Yes.
Yeah, you're enjoying that, aren't you?
I am.
See,
Can I
now
do it again?
watch my ear. Watch. Come closely on my ear. I'm just going to put my thumb through my ear. Now watch. Here we go. Look. Does it look my thumb is through my ear? Would you like to put your finger in there, John? Body magic. That's what we do. That's one different type of magic.
Very good. Thank you very much for joining us on Rise.
Can we have a stunt as well?
Yeah.
Oh, do we have a stunt? Go on. Fall.
Do a fall.
We've got no matting, so...
Okay, I'm going to set you on light as we go into the break. Is that all right?
Fine, yeah.
Okay.
But don't try that at
We'll
home.
talk to the fire officers first before we do that. Now we're going to